I flew up here from Melbourne recently, right? And I fucking hate flying. Is anyone here afraid of flying? The boys are afraid of flying. You don't look like you're afraid of anything, bro. If we're in Bali, we'll be talking 12 years now? Oh, that doesn't make any sense to anyone but you. Like, that's fucking... I don't know what that is, man, but the bourbon's as well. Like, yeah. Oh, it's got cocaine in the bourbon? Yeah, fucking sick, lad. Give a brother a sip. Woo, the boys. All right. That's the thing. I did not expect him to be afraid of anything, because like what I found out, man, is that like no one's afraid of flying anymore. It's just me, him, and the people who clap when the plane lands. That's it. The only people afraid of flying are us and old Italians. Great, you know, like good to know, right? And the thing is, like, I think it's because flying is it's like an old-fashioned fear, you know what I mean? Because there are modern-day fears. Modern-day fears are you're worried you're never going to be able to own your own home, right? Or you're worried there are going to be more of those soy sauce fish in the ocean than actual fish. These are modern-day fears, guys. Like, flying's old-fashioned, like, but that's the thing. In the air, and like, when you're afraid of flying, your friends can't wait to reassure you, right? And they just do that by telling you other ways you're more likely to die, which doesn't help when I'm panicking, right? Like, my friend's got to be so confident. He's like, hey, Dan, just so you know, you're much more likely to die in a car accident than in a plane crash. And I was like, okay, then how am I getting home from the fucking airport, right? I'm already afraid of that shit, now I'm afraid of this. You got a bicycle, dude? Help me out. And like the airlines know it's a problem, and their big solution is to get the captain on there, you know, make an announcement, humanize the whole thing, because people don't make mistakes. People don't make mistakes? I own Big Mama's House on DVD. People make mistakes. And like the captain's announcement, it's just the same wherever you go, right? He gets up there and he's like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain, white male. We're leaving Sydney. If you look to the right, you'll see some mountains. If you look to the left, you'll see some ocean. Then we're going to do a whole lot of nothing. And then we'll start our descent into Adelaide so you can see the nothing up close. That doesn't reassure me, you know? Like that's just the directions. The guy who was driving the Titanic knew where the shit was going, right? Still didn't end well for anyone but James Cameron, you know? That's a pretty popular film. Fuck you. And the thing is, like, if you want to reassure me, just change the captain's announcement. It's so simple. Just get the captain up there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. I have 3 children under the age of 8. My marriage is going quite well, and I'm up to the last Harry Potter book. There is no way I'm not landing this plane. I've invested too much time in this story. I need to find out what happens, right? Does he live? And that's just so you guys know I read. That's all that was. One thing, my girlfriend's white. You'd probably like her. Thought we'd turn this into a comedy show. And the thing is, I do this for a living, which is clearly insane given how it's going. But like, my girlfriend does something even more ridiculous, right? Because she markets high-end furniture. Her whole job is to convince rich people they can spend more on a couch than a car. That's 9 to 5 every day, right? That's her job. And the thing is, I was talking to her, and I figured out she sells a couch that's worth more than I earn in a year of doing stand-up comedy. Now, that's a tough relationship position to be in, right? Because we both know she'd be better off dating the couch. But seriously, who spends $600 on a couch? It's like... just get them on the street where you found me, right? The reason I make fun of these guys for their hats is because like, I've actually started wearing a baseball cap recently. I think it's actually a risky move because I think like any white guy is just a poorly fitting baseball cap away from looking like a lone gunman. But like, I don't think that's how I'm going to go out, right? I think, because if you look throughout the course of history, there's never really been a white martyr, right? Like, never really been a white martyr. And some people might be thinking, but what about Jesus? But like, come on. He became white after, right? Like, there was this guy born in the Middle East, grew up Jewish, then suddenly went in the cave, got the 3-day Michael Jackson facelift. And he appears to his disciples and like, Jesus, you look different. And he's like, look, I don't know, my publicist said it would sell more books. We're just trying to tap into that Roman market, right? One thing, I'm a porn enthusiast. Anyone here like porn? Yeah, the boys. Yes. Oh man, I fucking love you guys. I need you at all my gigs. But I like porn. I don't like that porn's being criticized, right? Because people are saying that porn creates unrealistic attitudes towards sex. Yeah? Which I don't understand because Michael Jordan creates unrealistic attitudes towards basketball. But no one's saying he's not a good ambassador for the sport, right? If anything, he's inspiring kids to get out there and play. And that's what I think is important, even if they don't have the genetics to turn pro, right? And like, I just don't know how you can call porn unrealistic. Like, seriously, like, look at the way porn videos are named. Look at the way they name porn. That is the most honest thing in the world. There is nothing more honest than a porn video title. Like, they're so detached, I think they must be named by some autistic kid in a basement. That's the only way. That is the only way they can come out like they do. It's like, oh, what should we call the next one, Kevin? Chubby white girl throats big black cock? Done, send it out. Fantastic work yet again, right? No need for a second draft on that shit. I think we all know what we're getting into. But like, break down that video title. Adjective, adjective, noun, verb, adjective, adjective, noun. 7 words, 0 emotions. Yeah. Great work, Kevin. I know everything and I feel nothing. My sexuality has kind of changed as I've gotten older. I haven't switched sides, but it's matured, like a fine wine, right? And like, the thing is, like, I just remember when I was in high school, I just used to do things I had to do while thinking about masturbating, right? But now that I'm 27, I just masturbate while thinking about things I have to do. Just in front of the computer, like, oh, fuck, it's Father's Day, I forgot again. Oh, man. I gotta call that guy. After I finish, obviously, I'm not a monster. You can't tell your dad you love him with an erection. That's weird. But I do remember when I was younger, I used to suffer a little bit from premature ejaculation. Now I just talk quickly. And at the time, I was really insecure about it, right? I remember I went and asked my sex friend for advice, right? And when I say sex friend, I don't mean some priest. Like, it's not gonna take a really real turn, like, you know, in the opening act. It's cool. But like, I just mean that friend of mine who was having sex like too early, you know what I mean? He's like 13 years old with a man dick, right? And he used it, like, just that kind of guy whose first sexual experience was leaving the womb and he never slowed down. Like, my friend's name was James, right? I just went up to him and I was like, James, I've been finishing a bit quickly. Do you have any advice? And he said, don't worry about it. Which isn't advice. That's not advice at all. And I was like, no, seriously, man, I'm in trouble here. Can you give me some, like, anything? Give me something to work with. And he's like, just seriously, don't worry about it because you're going to have sex more, you'll get more bored of it, and then you'll last way longer. Some people are ahead of me. People I've had sex with. No. Because that's it. Because at 17, I thought that was ridiculous. But at 27, that's pretty much how it works. Yeah, like, honestly, it's just because sex is inherently repetitive. It's just in, out, 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 in, out. It's just 2 notes, you know? It's like your favorite song being the theme from Jaws, right? Just... You never get tired of hearing that shit. You're like, fuck it, play it again, it's my favorite part. Like, it's repetitive, man. And like, obviously the first time you play it on a piano, you're very excited to be there. You're like, dunna, 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 dunna. Sorry, my bad. Don't feel sorry for me. Then when you're playing it on the same piano for a little bit longer, you're like, dunna, no, I'm into it, dunna, dunna. Then you want to jazz it up for yourself a little bit, make it more interesting. So you're like, dunna, 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 skilla pop, skilla pop, skilla pop, skilla pop, skilla pop. And she's like, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, sorry, dunna. And you just think about other films, right? I do deserve that, thank you. I'll tell you guys one last thing before I get out of here. It's kind of a weird thing, but recently I had the perfect interaction with a police officer. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird, right? Because I was driving my car and I was stopped at a red light and I was texting because that's the law, obviously. Get a red light, text your mum, tell you're okay. That's just how I roll. And like the thing that happened was this police officer drove past in the other direction, right? And he saw me texting, but he didn't pull me over. He didn't even slow down. He just yelled out his window, "Oi, mate, get off your phone." And I was like, "Sorry, mate." And I got off my phone. That's it. That's the end of the story. That's why it's perfect. You know what I mean? I got away with it. Like, it was just common sense policing. Like, that guy, he could have pulled me over. He could have fined me. He didn't. He just saw me doing the wrong thing, told me to stop doing the wrong thing. I stopped doing the wrong thing, and no Indigenous people died in custody, which is like... That's the perfect interaction with a police officer, guys. And you can laugh at that joke, because I did that joke in New York, and they still laughed. Even though they don't have any Indigenous people left. All right, I've been Daniel Muggleton. Are we ready for a fucking show?